Hello and welcome back to World 360. After nearly 17 years in exile in London, Tarique Rahman's dramatic return to Bangladesh on Thursday has sent political shockwaves across the country. As he arrived, hundreds of thousands of supporters lined the airport to welcome him. Marking the moment, Rahman stepped barefoot onto Bangladesh soil and picked up a handful of soil in a symbolic homecoming. So, who is this man suddenly back at the center of national attention? Let's dive in. Tarique Rahman is a Bangladeshi politician and an acting chairman of a major political party in the country, Bangladesh National Party, since 2018. He is the eldest son of former Bangladeshi President Ziaur Rahman and former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia. Tarique is considered a leading prime ministerial candidate for the upcoming February elections. His return comes after courts cleared the cases against him following the 2024 removal of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. So let's start with his early life and political involvement. Rahman joined politics early, becoming a BNP member in Gaptali Bogra in 1988. He rose within the party during his mother's time as Prime Minister in the early 2000s, and he actively campaigned for the BNP in 1991 election that ended over 15 years of military rule after a mass uprising that removed dictator Hussain Muhammad Arshad. Then came the exile and legal battles. During the transitional phase from 2006 to 2009, when Bangladesh came under a military-backed caretaker government, a wave of corruption and political violence cases closed in on Tarique Rahman. In March 2007, the crackdown reached his doorstep when security forces carried out a late-night operation and arrested him at his Dhaka home. Before Rahman went into exile, politics in Bangladesh was being dominated by a bitter rivalry between his Zia family and Sheikh Hasina's family. This long-running feud was known as the Battle of the Begums. This animosity further grew after the 1975 coup that killed Hasina's father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and which later helped Rahman's father, Ziaur Rahman, rise to power. But throughout his political career, Tarique faced allegations of nepotism and mismanagement. Even a 2006 US Embassy cable labeled him as a symbol of kleptocratic government and violent politics. Then in 2008, Sheikh Hasina's Awami League came to power and thousands of BNP members were imprisoned. Amongst all this, in 2008, Rahman went into self-imposed exile in London because of safety concerns and political persecution. Later in London as well, he faced multiple criminal cases and convictions in absentia. He was even accused of an alleged plot to assassinate Sheikh Hasina. In 2016, he was also convicted of money laundering and sentenced to 7 years in prison. This verdict was later stayed by the Supreme Court in 2024. Moreover, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in 2018 for his role in the 2004 Dhaka grenade attack, which targeted an Awami League rally. However, after the fall of the Awami League government in 2024, courts cleared him of all the 84 cases filed against him and removed all the legal hurdles to his return. Rahman's return comes at a critical time for Bangladesh as it faces a sensitive election period under an interim government. Addressing the crowds on Thursday, he pledged to unite people of all faiths and emphasize his vision for restoring a democratic country with a strong economic foundation after nearly 2 years of turmoil. Now let's come to next story. On Thursday night, the United States conducted strikes against Islamic State militants in Nigeria. President Trump said that the US launched, quote, a powerful and deadly strike against the IS group in northwestern Nigeria. He said that the strikes were in response to the IS group attacking and killing predominantly innocent Christians in Nigeria. He had earlier warned that such attacks would have consequences. US Africa Command, AFRICOM, confirmed that the strikes were carried out in coordination with Nigerian authorities in Sokoto state and that it killed multiple IS militants according to initial assessments. Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugor called the strikes a joint operation against terrorists, saying they were not aimed at any religion. He said that the operation had been planned for quite some time using intelligence from Nigeria. While the US cited attacks on Christians as the main reason for the strikes, Nigerian officials and monitoring groups offer a broader view. Extremist groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province have wreaked havoc in northeastern Nigeria for over a decade, killing thousands with most of who have been Muslims. They point out that jihadists have targeted people of all faiths, not any single religion. Much of the violence also stems from communal and ethnic tensions, including conflicts between mostly Muslim herders and often Christian farmers over land and resources. Trump had earlier labeled Nigeria a country of particular concern for reported serious violations of religious freedom. This claim remains disputed amongst the Nigerian government. Further, this designation has impacted the relations between both the countries, particularly with the threat of sanctions and interventions. Trump had threatened military action and aid cuts against Nigeria. While the US can impose sanctions under the International Religious Freedom Act, past cases often saw aid continue. Next up, jailed former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak is awaiting a verdict in his biggest trial, which is linked to the multi-billion-dollar 1MDB scandal. He was found guilty of abuse of power on Friday, a verdict that could have major political implications. The Malaysian High Court rejected his defense that the funds were Arab donations, ruling the supporting letters were forgeries. Further, a judge said on Friday that Razak had an unmistakable bond with a fugitive financier accused of playing a key role in the massive embezzlement from the state fund. The 1MDB, which is One Malaysia Development Berhad, was a state fund co-founded by Najib in 2009. Investigators alleged that around $4.5 billion was stolen from 1MDB, with over $1 billion reportedly ending up in Najib's personal accounts. Najib says he was misled by 1MDB officials and a fugitive financier, Jolo, whom the court views as acting on his behalf in managing MDB's affairs. Low is believed to have masterminded the scheme to siphon off 1MDB funds using the money to buy luxury real estate, art and other high-value assets. 72-year-old Najib faces 4 counts of corruption and 21 counts of money laundering. These charges involve the illegal transfer of about 2.2 billion ringgit, that is $539 million, from 1MDB funds. If convicted, he could face maximum jail terms of 15 to 20 years on each charge. Furthermore, in 2020, Najib was convicted of graft and money laundering for illegally receiving 1MDB funds. He began a 12-year prison term in August 2022, which was later halved by a pardons board. And earlier this week, a Malaysian court rejected Najib's request to serve the rest of his sentence under house arrest. The verdict is being closely watched as it could further heighten the tensions within Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's administration, which includes Najib's party, the United Malays National Organization, UMNO. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.